Hello and welcome to the Angus Report, a news program geared specifically toward cattle producers. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Paige Wallace. From American Angus Association headquarters in St. Joseph, Missouri, we bring you the week's top headlines, including a look at the proposed TransCanada pipeline.
We also look at the final GIPSA rules set for implementation in early February.
And we discuss dollar values and how to put them to work in your operation.
Some farmers are hoping for moisture this winter. We look at potential drought problems under the surface. This is the Angus Report. Our top stories for the week. TransCanada's proposed 1,700-mile oil pipeline has stirred heated controversy among U.S. farmers and ranchers. The proposed Keystone XL pipeline was put on hold last month when the White House cited need for further environmental review. Ranchers in the heart of Nebraska's cow country and 6 other states say the pipeline would endanger the Ogallala aquifer, which supplies drinking water to some 1.5 million people. The oil pipeline would carry 700,000 barrels of crude each day from Alberta, Canada to Gulf of Mexico refineries.
The final GIPSA rule, which goes into effect in early February, looks much different than when discussions first began in June 2010. The original proposal was met with heated controversy from varying sectors of the beef industry. Congress moved to limit the final GIPSA rule to only those areas included in the 2008 Farm Bill, a step USDA said greatly limited the changes they were able to make. The final version outlines new regulations for production contracts along with protocols for arbitration cases. The GIPSA debate is expected to continue as negotiations begin for the next Farm Bill.
In a volatile cattle business, managing risk is vital. For some, livestock insurance offers a coverage for protecting genetic investments.
What Livestock Risk Protection, or also known as LRP, is basically price insurance that cow-calf producers can buy or feeder cattle operators. So it's a very similar type of policy as to what a put option on the Chicago Merc would be. As a general rule for a cow-calf producer, I'd say it's probably not anything that's a real critical thing to be looking at, but for a background operator or somebody that's retaining some ownership, it sure might be worth looking into. If you go to the RMA website, they would list where you can maybe find agents.
The summer drought cost Missouri soybean producers more than $300 million. The drought could affect next year's crops if the winter months are dry. Kent Faddis with University of Missouri Extension has more.
It's not seen at the surface. That's why University of Missouri soil scientists are digging to uncover the problem.
Need more moisture, more water to move down.
Missouri's summer drought can be seen 3 to 5 feet below. The lack of moisture in the soil could impact next year's crops.
If it's not there and things get dry, I think we'll see the crops shut down much quicker.
Mike Collins, MU Director of Plant Sciences, says crops depend on moisture deep below the surface during hot, dry periods of the summer. But the recent drought robbed soil moisture reserves and will take months to replenish.
Most people would probably think that if we've had a couple of good rains and the surface seems moist, that everything's okay for the crop. But it's really not.
More than 100 Missouri counties were declared as natural disaster areas due to drought.
It takes a lot of pressure for some of this to break up.
MU soil scientist Randy Miles says farmers are counting on a wet, snowy winter to make up for the damage.
That particular scenario may be some sunshine for those of us that are in the agricultural production industry.
In order for a good crop next year, Miles estimates more than 16 inches of rainfall is needed this winter to replenish soil moisture. Missouri snowfall alone probably won't be enough because 10 inches of snow equals only 1 inch of rainfall. It would take more than 13 feet of snow to replenish the moisture reserves in the soil.
We have moisture in the surface that will carry us now, but long term, the piggy bank is pretty dry.
From the University of Missouri, I'm Kent Faddis reporting.
The economics of the cattle business have changed in recent years, especially with increasing grain costs. Tom Brink of J&F Cattle Holdings explains how some of the industry's shifting dynamics are changing some of the structure of the beef business.
We're seeing more calves grown to heavier weights before they come into the feed yard. That's one significant change. Right along with that has been the very strong profitability of the stocker operations. Stocker producers have had really about a 7 to 10 year run where they've made money every year. They're the only type of cattle operation that has increased in size and number in that period of time. Everywhere else we're seeing the number of feedlots, the number of cow-calf operations and so forth actually decline. The feed yards can't afford to pay as much for those calves as the stocker producers have. Now the only exception to that this year has been because of the extreme drought in the south. We did see in the lack of forage and the high price of forage in the southern plains, we did see a lot of lighter cattle move up into feed yards this year because of that, but that will likely not be the case in the next few years. You know, the cow-calf segment of the business is really in the driver's seat the next 3 to 4 or 5 years, and that's because we have growing demand and we have a shrinking supply and a shrinking cow herd. Prices are going up. There's every reason to believe they'll continue to go up, and I think we will very likely see some of the most profitable years in the cow-calf business the next, again, 3 to 5 years that maybe we've ever seen.
When the Angus Report returns, we look at feedlot tours that help build beef demand.
And we look at dollar values and how you can utilize the selection index on your operation.